So what you want to do is work out how many calories you're consuming during the day and how many calories you're burning up. Now, the first step in this process is to get yourself a notebook and write down everything that you eat every day for a typical week. And when I say everything, I do mean everything, includes snacks as well as meals. And you also want to write down all physical activity that you undertake. So get yourself a pedometer. You can pick them up quite cheaply in sports stores or off the internet, and find out how much walking you do during the course of a typical day. And it's probably more than you think. And you want to look at other activities that you do too. Things like bike riding, housework like ironing or vacuuming, sports if you play any sort of sports, even things like typing at your computer. They all burn up calories to a certain extent. And you want to record how many minutes you spend on these activities every day. Then, once you've done that, you want to convert these into calories. Now, there are two sites that you want to look at. The first one to determine how many calories you're consuming is this site here, the caloriecounter.com. And what you can do is you can either do a search, you can choose a food group from the drop-down menu and then enter the food here into this search box and click on search. Or you can browse through the foods and you can get some surprising amount of information about the foods. That, for example, let's say I click on baked products. It lists foods by brand name, so you can choose a particular brand if you're eating a particular brand, or you can choose something that's just a general description. So, for example, let's choose one here, who's Danish pastry. You can see it will tell you the nutrition facts, how many calories per serving, if it's just a 1 ounce serving, say. And it tells you how many fats, how much cholesterol, proteins, vitamins, the whole works. Now, the one that you're going to be most interested in is this one here, calories, 114, and calories from fat, 56. So you want to go through your notes and run every single food that you've eaten during the course of the week through this site and get your total number of calories that you have eaten during the course of the week. Next thing you want to do is come to this site, which is www.health-information/tools-calculators/calories-calculator. And what this does is you can work out exactly how much calories or how many calories you're burning in a particular activity. So first thing you do is enter in your weight. Then you select an activity from the menu here. You can see it's all sorts of things here, general activities, things that you do when you're working out, all sorts of stuff. And you enter in how many minutes during a day that you've performed this activity, and then the site will work it out for you. So then you want to total up your weekly calorific intake, so add up every day for a week, and then divide that by 7 so that you get your average daily calorific intake. And then you want to do the same with the number of calories that you've burned. So again, you can get an average for the number of calories that you burn every day for a week. Then you want to subtract the smallest one from the largest one, the smallest figure from the largest figure. Now, normally this is going to be calories out from calories in. And then you're going to look for ways to reverse this. And there are several ways that you can do this actually very simply. The first is to look for lower calorie foods. And if you go through that website where you can see the number of calories that each food contains, you can then work out the lower calorie substitute for foods that you're eating. You want to cut out snacking. Snacking is a big source of putting on extra weight, especially if you snack while you're doing something else like working at your computer or watching TV or something like that. You want to think about taking more exercise, and you also want to think about taking more efficient exercise. Because it could be if you're working out at the gym but you're still not losing weight, then perhaps you should talk to your personal trainer and see if there is perhaps a more efficient way that you could be doing the exercise that you're doing, or that you could take some other type of exercise. And you can do things like have a piece of fruit for a snack instead of a candy bar or a bag of chips. And you could walk or use public transport instead of driving your car. But don't overdo it. You want to make sure that you're consuming at least the minimum number of calories that you need to stay healthy. And that is 2,500 to 2,700 calories for men, or 2,000 to 2,200 calories for women. And of course, you should see your doctor before beginning any kind of weight loss program, because you want to make sure that there are no underlying health problems that could be exacerbated by starting a weight loss diet. So there you go, the simple secret to weight loss.